and I'm marketing manager and a low-code developer with Zoho. And in my past 4 to 5 years of experience working with Zoho, I have interacted with different kind of communities, be it customers, developers, partners, and also with students. So in this session today, I'll be taking you through some of those interesting insights, and also in the booth, we did get multiple questions on some of the aspects. So I'm trying to cover some of that too in this session, all right? So before we getting started, how many of you attended the keynote today morning? Did you hear the Zoho session? Okay, got it. And how many of you have heard about Zoho Creator before today? Oh, okay, there is a few people here and there. Okay, good. So the way the session is planned today is we'll be starting with looking at the evolution of app development. I'll also speak about Zoho's low-code platform, which is Zoho Creator, and we'll also see how scalable the platform is. So I'm also going to do, the way the session is planned today is I'll be doing a little bit of show and tell from the platform, and also use the slide as a guide to take you through the whole experience. So let me get started with the platform. So once a user or a developer logs into Creator, this is the place where they land. So in the left side, you can see different options that will help you build, deploy, and manage your application. And you can also see different types of solutions that you can build on Creator here. The screen is a bit cramped, that's why the screen is looking like this. What I want you to focus on is what is on top right, which is create solution. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and create that. So there are 3 types of solutions that you can build on the platform. One is application, BI and analytics, or integration flow. So for the quick demo now, I'm going to go ahead and create an application, create it from scratch. I'm going to name it demo kits and going ahead and creating it. So the minute you click on that, it's the first step of creating an application, and the system is prompting you to create a form. We'll go ahead and create a new form from scratch again. I am going to name it a demo form, and we land on the famous drag and drop builder. So on the left, you can see different data types and different fields that are available, and you can drag and drop. So I'm going to drag and drop a couple of different fields here, a name, email, a date field, and a single line field. And if you want to change any of these names, you can go ahead and do that in the right side corner. So I'm going to name it company name. Done, and you can access the application. That's it. You access the application and the app is live. So what low-code platform does is, the minute you drag and drop your first field, the application is live to be shared with your users. You don't have to worry about any more further steps or try to deploy it at all. So let's say you've seen how the app looks, right? It's a very simple app. Maybe you want to collect some information from your users, and let's go ahead and make some changes and see how that shows up in the builder. So I'm going to go back to the builder. I'm going to make the email mandatory. So if you usually want to make anything mandatory, you'll have to go and do some line of coding. I'm just going to do a checkbox. And coming back to the builder, there is a date field. And let's say in the app, I want the date field to capture the current date, whichever date the person is accessing the application. There is an option called Zoho.currentDate, which is a system variable which will help you collect that particular information. Done. I'm going to go back to the live mode and refresh it. And you will see that the changes that we made, which is the email is made mandatory and the date is captured the current date. So we'll switch back to the presentation. What you saw here is kind of an evolution of the app development, right? So many of you are developers and you would know what are the different stages or the steps with which you have to go ahead and build an app. You have to think about the network layer, the server, the database, the software infrastructure. Not only that, you have to think about the setup, the updates, the scalability, the uptime, all of that before you even get into building the actual application, which is the business logic part. So what low-code tries to do is, it tries to bring the business logic to the center and makes everything else easy for you. So the platform handles all of these different aspects so that you as a developer can handle only the business logic part. So if you attended the morning session by Mark, he mentioned a couple of things, right? He mentioned the maintainability, the time to market. He also mentioned about scalability, which is, if you're going through the traditional development path, great, you will have to manage all of that. But here is an alternative path for you wherein you can do all of that without having to worry about any of those infrastructure. You can directly go and build with the low-code app. So the whole point of low-code application development is abstraction. So what we have done is we have abstracted different parts of application development for you so that you can build app more faster. There are two types of abstraction that is happening here. One is deployment level abstraction and the other one is development level abstraction. So you saw the deployment level abstraction right now, right? You just have to, the minute you drag and drop your first field, the application is ready to go live. You don't have to do any more steps to deploy it to your users. At development level abstraction, you saw a sneak peek of it, which is the drag and drop, but that same simplicity is carried on to every other step. So if you want to build a very simple, straightforward app like, let's say, a data collection app, you can actually do it without even one line of coding. But when you get into more complex enterprise level applications, you might have to do a little bit of coding. But what we are trying to do with the platform is we have made that also much easier. Even for complex coding, you can actually drag and drop. The syntax would come, and there are different types of elements like syntax assistant. You also have refer fields so that you don't have to remember all the different fields or data types that are available. You can actually refer all of that and make the development process simpler and easier. So the goal of, or the vision of Zoho Creator is to empower everyone to build applications easily. We are in this process, we are trying to improve every day as we go. And with the journey that we have had in the past, you will be able to see. So there is this one question which I get asked often, which is what kind of people will be using this application? Is it for developers or is it for non-developer? Who will be working on low code? So our aim is to make Zoho Creator a usable platform for all kinds of different development personas, be it a citizen developer or a techno-functional developer or even a professional developer. You will be able to build the application in your comfort with the platform. I want to take you through the journey that we have had so far. So back in 2006, when I was still in school, the developer team in Zoho was busy deploying the first version of Zoho Creator. So it started out fully built on cloud as a database management application powered by some web forms. So that's where Creator started. Then in 2 years, we kind of came up with an update for the version. The interface was updated and also introduced a script-based workflow engine powered by Deluge. So Deluge is Zoho's proprietary coding language. And this, now to think about it, was one of the first function as a service of PaaS as we know it now. In 2012, the focus was to democratize the app building process and to make it easy for anyone to build an app. So the whole drag and drop was introduced in 2012. In 2015, we started focusing on making the app more multi-platform. So what we did is any application that was built on Creator could now be used as a native app in iOS and even Android. So the most interesting fact here is even those apps which was built in 2006 when Android or iOS was not even a thing was now mobile ready and could be used on any platform of iOS or Android. In the 2018 release of our platform, we focused more to bring in the modular design, the UI, and also improve the ADLM or the application development process so that it's easier for developers to build their solutions on the platform. So as I stand here today, we are in the 6th version of Creator, which is Creator 6, which is a unified platform to build all kinds of custom business solutions. So when I went into the application, you would have seen there are 3 different solutions that you can build. So we have become a unified platform now. So if you ask me to speak about Creator, I can go on and on for hours. We don't have that much time here. So but I definitely want to ensure that you understand what the platform can do and what its capabilities are. So what you see here is an overview or a larger view of what the platform does. In the center is the low-code solution builder, and you have many supporting stacks in the side, which is kind of helping us provide you an end-to-end developer platform. So the different kinds of personas of developers that I mentioned, be the professional or business developers, can either choose to build from scratch or select from any of the pre-built templates or applications that are available to give them a heads up in the development process. We also have a host of options available for you to visually build different components in the application, be it a web and mobile app, an integration, or a blueprint. and also options to integrate it with third-party applications. And also bring in the business logic. So if you want to add your business logic into the application, you have workflow options that are available, which will help you do that. You also have options to add BI and analytics. So if you want dashboards and advanced analytics, that option is also available. You will see elements of artificial intelligence or AI throughout the app building platform. So wherever it will be helping you in building or improving the application, you will be able to see the AI. For example, when you're importing some information to the platform, you will see smart import options which will help you in data cleansing, etc. To make IT still in control and also to allow business IT collaboration, we do provide options like application IDE, widgets, serverless functions, etc. All the applications that you build on the platform can be easily deployed. First of all, it will be deployed on the cloud, on web, but we also have an option to deploy it on premise as well. Like I mentioned earlier, every application that is built on the platform will be available as an iOS and Android native mobile app. You also have options to go ahead with a progressive web app as well, which I'll show in some time. In cases where you want to share your application with external users, so usually you would have it for business users and who are internal to the organization. But what if you want to share the application to external users? You have an option called portals with which you can allow one-to-many access to the application. With all of this, we still want to ensure that the central IT team has a control over what is happening in the organization, right? So the development hub exactly does that. So it helps in governance, it helps in monitoring and the application development lifecycle. Compliance, security and privacy is our utmost priority and it will be taken care of at the platform level. What I want to focus here is the Zoho stack as well. So if you attended the morning session, you would have heard Haider speak about how we own the whole stack. Every part of the platform is owned by us. So if you look at it, including data center, the network, the firewall, all of the app balancers, all of that is owned by Zoho. So what is the benefit of customers, right? So all of this control that we have will be passed on to the customers as well. He also mentioned about having a unified data model. What it means is that there are 50 plus applications that are available on Zoho platform. And if you want to connect and expand your scope of work, it will become very easy through using Zoho. So I want to go back to what makes low-code scalable, right? There are certain things. What I mentioned now was a scalable architecture. You as a developer do not have to worry about setting up an IDE or an interpreter or compiler, any of that. You go directly into building an application. There is also serverless functions that are available. So if you want to, let's say, bring in some Java code or Node.js into your application and you store and recall it from the workflows, that is also possible. So what you see here is a watermark function that has been added through custom functions, wherein once you add it to your compiler, you will be able to call it at any point and in any of the applications that you have in the same account. So it can be stored once and you can call it at any point. Yeah, the second one is integration flow. So all of it is great. You can build an application, have it, scale it and all of that, but it doesn't make any sense if it cannot communicate with other applications, right? It's the truth. No company has only one stack of technology with them. They would have multiple different types of applications or technologies that they use. And it is important that your application is able to communicate with other third party or other applications that are there in the company. So we have integration flow, which has 750 plus pre-built connection or connectors that are available, with which you will be able to connect and speak with other applications, pull and push data as well. But what if that 750 connectors do not have the applications that you want to connect to? Then Creator have the option to connect or integrate with any other third-party application who has REST API. So you will be able to again integrate using some codes with REST APIs. Next, I want to focus on ADLM. I'll go back to the app and show you how it looks in the builder. So the first screen that we saw, so the first screen that we saw, in the left side, you saw there are different options that is available for the builder, right? So you go to environment. So if you heard Bharat's session yesterday, he spoke about how a lot of our revenue comes from upgrade than from new, right? it is the nature of the platform. So usually our customers come into the platform, they build 1 or 2 solutions, and then usually they scale up. That is the natural way of going ahead with app development. So in that case, if you're building a larger application, you will want to have a proper application development lifecycle management internally. So this is exactly what our ADLM feature does. So we have 3 different environments: development, staging, and production, with which you will be able to easily make updates and test it and push it or deploy it out to your customers. So if you go to environment option under deploy, you will see that this is the screen that you would see. All the applications which have some changes or some updates that are made will be listed here. You can go to publish and go to publish to stage, where, like I said, every application which has some kind of an update will be available. Let's go ahead and select one of the app. It will then show you what are the different modules in which, or what are the different components in which some kind of update is made. You can select which all you want to push to live and proceed. So the minute you click on that, it will be processing. Then you will want to give some more information, decide if it's a minor or a major change, and based on that you can update and push it to staging. So if it is a major change, it will increment by 1.0, and if it's a minor change, it will be 0.1. So going back to the environment, the next is the staging. So in development itself, your developer will be able to do some kind of testing. They can of course check how the whole program or application looks. But if you want to do intense testing, that's where staging comes in. So staging in Creator allows you to test the application in different personas as well. So the application might have different kinds of users, let's say an admin or a technician or a management level person. So based on the criteria or based on the access that each person have, you will be able to test it out for different personas. Again, in publish to production, you will see the option if it's a minor or a major change, and you can go ahead and proceed. The system will also give you an option to decide if you want to go ahead and publish right away, or if you want to schedule it for a later time, because most of the time we want to do it when the application is not being used, right? So you can publish it later and go ahead and set that up as well. Another point that I want to show here is the governance. So we mentioned earlier how even though it's low code, even though anyone will be able to build an app, you should still want to maintain some level of control over what is happening in the organization, right? So in governance, if you go to the security part, there is a dashboard which will show you who is accessing application, which are the applications that are being used regularly, how is the login to it, and you'll also be able to filter into the granular detail of how the applications are being used. So this would give the central IT department the level of control that they would need to run these apps in the organization. Another thing here is the security. So we mentioned about the security, privacy, all of that is taken care of at the application or the platform level. But what if you have some specific standards that you want to set for your organization? Then you will be able to do that in the security option here. So if you want to set up a password policy, if you want to make any specific restriction for that, you will be able to do that here. You also have multi-factor authentication that you can set up. If you want to whitelist any IPs, that will be possible. And in advanced setting, if you want to set up some timeout or idle session timeout, etc., you will be able to do that. Going back to the Creator platform, one thing I want to highlight here is the multi-platform capability of Creator. So like I mentioned, if you build an application on the platform, while you build it itself, you will have options to customize it for your mobile or for a tablet. So right from the way it looks to any of the gestures that you want to happen on, let's say, a left swipe or a right swipe or a long press, you will be able to customize it while you build the app itself. And once that is done, you will be able to then deploy it either as an iOS application or an Android, or even as a Creator standard application. So there are 3 types of application that you can build using Creator. One is the Creator app. This means it would be the standard Creator branded application. You can go into App Store or a Google Store, and once you have a Creator account, you will be able to download and use it. So it will be an account level access that will be given to you. The application would say Zoho Creator on top of it. But the second one, which is quite interesting, is the rebranded mobile application, which means you can have an app level access to the platform, and you will be able to rebrand or white label it completely. So how do you do that? So again, you go to the deploy option in mobile, you go to create new, you can select which application you want to publish as a mobile app, go ahead and select that. And there are different ways in which you can publish. So earlier we mentioned there are internal users and also external stakeholders, right, or portal users. So if you have to publish it, you will have to publish it separately for these kinds of users. So if you want a user, you select iOS and next. So you would need a certain prerequisites to go ahead and publish it. For example, for iOS, you would need a P12 file, you would need a provisioning certificate, etc. And once you enter all of that, you will be able to code sign your application and download the IPA file. So the process of building a mobile app, like a rebranded mobile app in Creator, ends with you downloading that IP and the APK file. The rest of it, you will have to take it through the normal development process where you submit it to Apple Enterprise, etc., and go ahead from there. So this is how the iOS one looks. We'll take a quick look at how the Android one looks as well. So user, Android. Here the requisites are a key store file, a key store password, etc. You can also customize the icon that you want to show. So for example, if it's a particular product or a brand you have, you will be able to customize and add that to the platform as well. So you don't have to code for mobile separately. The minute you build an app, you will be able to easily deploy to this multi-platform or multi-technology easily. The next part is the progressive web app. So nowadays, of course, any business, they cannot run without having a mobile application. So what Creator has also done is every application that is built on the platform, it is a progressive web app by default. So if you have an application and you access it on the web, you will be able to then add it to the home screen. This depends, of course, on the browser capability that is there for the platform. And you will be able to save it as a progressive web app. So this will also give you an application level access to the account or to the application. There are some restrictions, of course, in progressive web app. You might not be able to open it natively for, let's say, if you have a link to a different application, you might have to sign in again if you access through it. But with the host of options that you have, either Creator app or the rebranded app or the progressive web app, you will be able to definitely get your other tasks done. So that kind of brings me to the end of the session. I want to also speak about the global hackathon that is going on. So I would, of course, encourage all of you to sign up for this hackathon. It is a open innovation theme that we have. So if you have any problem statement that you have in place, and you can build it on the platform and submit it, the registrations are open now. There are some attractive, prices for it. You can either scan this or visit us in the booth and sign up for the same. Also, if any of you are, from services company, and if you're looking at options to, let's say, build solutions on top of Creator or resell it, we also have our partnership team who is available in the booth. So you can visit us in the booth number 1 and know more about the platform. I just want to end by saying this one thing. What we showed here is not even the tip of the iceberg for the product. We just showed one very simple application, right? But you can build anything from a small data collection application to all the way enterprise level, larger application which can run core businesses on Creator platform. So if you would like to see some of those solutions, you can please come by booth number 1 and we can show you all of that. So thank you so much for joining us.